to the Corner of Craft. I hope that you're all well and that you are ready for another podcast. This is a knitting and occasionally crochet podcast. My name is Hannah, like I've already said. I'm coming at you today from a really gross Nottingham in England. It's raining so much and storming, and fortunately we've not had any issues with floods because we don't live too close to any big rivers. It's just really gross weather really, and not what I want in life, but can't complain. If you would like to follow me on social media, you're more than welcome to here. Links can all be found in the description box below if you prefer to just click through. They will take you there. I'm most active on Instagram. And I'm trying to get better with others. I'm being super active on Instagram stories at the moment, which is always fun. I realised yesterday though, I basically just shared every single cup of tea that I drank, which was 4, which it doesn't sound that much, but someone messaged me and said, the problem is that cups just aren't big enough. I beg to differ, because I then measured how big this mug was. So we got these mugs as a wedding present. I mean, we'd asked for them, we put them on the gift list, but I hadn't realised how big they were. They hold half a litre of tea. That's 500 millilitres. That's just under a pint of tea. Quite a bit under a pint of tea. 68 millilitres under a pint of tea. And yeah, I had one and then made myself another tea, and then someone, had a few people message me actually saying, you drank that first one quite quickly. I'm like, yes, I do. I have already had one of these today. This is tea number 2. Tea number 2 today is Bird and Blend Tea Company, obviously, because apparently that's the only tea I drink. Although on Instagram stories you'll see that I drink Yorkshire Tea Biscuit Brew way more than Bird and Blend sometimes. The tea I'm drinking today right now is Chocolate Digestives. It's one of my favourites and one that I go back to fairly often. Delightful. So stressful. For those of you wondering, because every time I wear lipstick on a podcast I get asked, for those of you wondering, the lipstick I'm wearing, it is NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in the shade Monte Carlo. It's one of these. If you're not interested in this, that's also okay. And it's just like a liquid lipsticky type thingy, but that's what I'm wearing on my lips. I bought this recently because I didn't have a red one of these, and I actually really like this shade. So I thought I'd wear it for the podcast for all of you. Also, the jumper that I'm wearing, I can't really remember how I start a podcast ever, so we'll just wing it. The jumper I am wearing is my Garden Gate sweater, patterned by Jennifer Steingass, and yes, this is the bit that I was talking about in the podcast when I finished it. I think I caught my floats in the same place too many times, so you can kind of see them, but at the same time, I don't think anyone would be, I've got stuff down it already. Don't think anyone would be rude enough to point it out, and plus if I sit like this you can't see it, but yeah, I think I caught my floats in the same place too. I'm still relatively new to colour work, so I'm trying. It fits really nicely. I just need, it's just a bit cropped, so I should wear it with dresses, but you can only see like this bit until I reach, and then you can see the bottom of the jumper. Just because I'm quite tall apparently in comparison to the designer, so it's ended up being quite cropped, which is fine if I wear it over a dress, but I couldn't be bothered to put a dress on for you all today, which hindsight is a bit rude, but jeans can be comfier, although not often. But yes, that is the story of the Garden Gate sweater, which I love so much and probably will be taking off after I finish filming the podcast. I don't have a single finished object to share with you today, and I'm sorry. I've still got my little unicorn from last week in the background. A few of you said that you have bought the pattern since seeing that, so that's really cute. I'm glad that you liked it. The plan is still to cast on and knit a herd of unicorns, but you know, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. There's always so many other things to knit, and then bead weaving. Last week, basically, I spent my week dyeing up the Knit Carol Yarn Club to ship out, which I did on Monday. Tuesday. I shipped it out on Tuesday, and that took way longer than I wanted it to because the dye just wouldn't exhaust, which was really annoying. But it did eventually, and that's fine. It just took me a bit longer than I wanted to. And then I was also beading up the stitch marker clubs for all of you. They also went out on Tuesday. So yes, I try to do like 2 weeks worth of beading for and dyeing for a shop update, and I just wasn't able to. So the shop update is a bit lighter than I would have liked, but it's also the end, getting towards the end. Although it's a short month, so it's getting towards the end of the month, so payday is not there for some people yet. But I've done my best, and that's all I can ask. It's just frustrating. I just wish I could do more. Always. A huge thank you to all of you who joined me for my live stream on Friday. I had a lot of fun. I had decided to live stream it anyway for Valentine's Day because Mario went down to London. He sent me a really beautiful bunch of flowers. It was really cute. But yes, he went down to London, so I decided to live stream for anyone else that may have been not with someone on that, or just doesn't do Valentine's Day. And anyone who donated money during the live stream, the money went directly to the charity Show Racism the Red Card. So thank you very much. That donation went in, and I had a lot of fun hanging out with you all for over an hour, hour and a half, however long it was. So a huge thank you. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, I haven't actually, I feel like I've knit quite a lot, but I don't have anything finished because I've started one thing again, which some of you will have seen, and well, all of these have been knit on a bit, so I just don't have anything finished yet. But before I jump into objects, I would like to announce a knit along / crochet along I would like to host. I want to do more cows, but I just haven't been doing them. So this cowl is going to be the Critter Knit cowl, and yes, basically it's, you knit anything you want that's Dungeons and Dragons or fantasy related. We'll go broad spectrum. There's quite a few Lord of the Rings patterns around, there's quite a few elfy things around. Unicorns count because they're in D&D. I just want to see pictures of various D&D themed things. There's quite a few D&D. Dungeons and Dragons, for those that don't know, is a tabletop role-playing game that I am obsessed with, and part of my business is chromatic yarns, and those are colorways inspired by the game Dungeons and Dragons. So to enter, there are lots of, I mean, I'm going to open a thread on Ravelry, but I also want to see hashtags, because I want to, obviously I will ask permission before I share, but I want to share all your projects in my newsletter and such, and so you can, I want to build up the community, the Corner of Craft community a bit more, so you will get to know each other a bit more, even if it's just through the pictures that I share, obviously linking back to the original post. But yes, yeah. So you can make something fantasy related, Dungeons and Dragons related. I want to see pictures of people playing their tabletop role-playing game of choice while knitting. I want to see all sorts. You can use my yarn because that's Dungeons and Dragons related, therefore it counts. Plus, I'm just going to encourage you to buy it because why wouldn't I? Because this is how I live in this house and eat and whatnot. But yes. You can, yeah, basically that is it. I haven't set an end date, but it's starting, we'll say today. What date is it today? It's the 20th. So starting today, 1, 2, 3, we could go, I've only just got back from Japan then. We'll set an end date when I fancy it. It's starting now. I want to see various D&D related projects. One of the ones that I want to knit for it is the elf mail jumper that I talked about a while ago in a podcast. Elf mail as in like chain mail, but for elves. That's one that I really want to cast on, but haven't done yet because I cast on another jumper instead. I also want to cast on the Telegram cardigan, but that's not related to the cowl, but it is because I'd be using my own yarn, therefore everything counts when I use my own yarn. But yes, that is the goal. Dungeons and Dragons themed not Harry Potter themed, because I realised I said fantasy and Harry Potter can count as fantasy, but I'm thinking more like elves, not house elves, but like elves and orcs and wizards, but not Harry Potter wizards, and warlocks. And although if a pattern is called the something wizard, then sure, I'll allow it. But I just know a lot of people have Harry Potter specific yarns. But, you know, if you can argue that it can be used in the cal, I'll probably let it happen. But yes, I will be opening up that thread for the crit and knit cal. Crochet is allowed, knitting is allowed, amigurumi is welcome, make unicorns, make dragons, make whatever you want, but that is going to be happening. And I was meant to announce it on the podcast last week and then forgot, so then just decided to introduce it as a little sneak peek if you signed up to the newsletter, which I will not keep talking about, but if you have signed up to the newsletter, you would have already found out about it, because I would have already sent you a newsletter about it last week. But yes, super exciting. I need a sip of tea. I feel like when I stretch you can see the bottom of my jumper, and maybe a roll of stomach. I have a vest top on underneath, so it's not like a bear, but because that would be way too cold. But yes, the crit and knit cal, it's a coming. Now I need to post about it in various other groups that I'm in, like Critical Role themed, because I just think it would be really fun. Maybe that's just me, just really fun. So yeah, I need to think of a new cast on for that, but I get a bit overwhelmed when I've got too many projects on the go at once, and I've got 3 projects on the go at the moment, so I need to whittle some of them down first, I think, because it's stressing me out a little bit. So I don't have it, like I said, I don't have any finished objects to share with you. I've been busy. I've not been able to knit as much as I'd like. I also cast on something new and knit on that quite a lot. So let's talk about the oldest whip, living in my Fringe Field supply bag, which I have all my badges on. I have my Home Is With You shawl. This is, oh good gosh. This is a pattern by Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady podcast, Kay Litton. I'm in the middle of a bloody row. I knew this would happen. I'm just going to knit the rest of this row and come back to you in a second. Excuse me. Let's try that again, shall we? So the first and oldest whip that I'm sharing with you is the Home Is With You shawl. This is a pattern by Kay Litton of the Crazy Sock Lady podcast. I think I must be getting towards the end. I've got a few sections left to go. I knit on it more this fortnight than I did the previous fortnight, because I was here and now I'm here. I finished off the eyelet section that I was on. I'm well into the next garter section that I'm in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got one more back and forth to do, I think. I don't know, I need to double check the pattern, maybe 2. 9's an odd number. Yeah, and then I move on to the next section. But yeah, I'm on the home straight. I know I'm on the home straight, but it's just other things are more exciting. Not that this pattern is boring, just because when something gets... I was the same with this jumper. When something's on the needle for a really long time, then... anything else is way more appealing. Anyone else? Although I do now really want to get this done now looking at this, because it's a really nice pattern. So this is the Home Is With You shawl. It's made up of lots of different sections. It's got like this moss stitchy thing, and then a gartery bit, and then an eyeletty bit, and then another gartery bit, and then I've got one of my beaded stitch markers. If you're wondering what my beaded stitch markers look like, because I don't really introduce my business. Hi, I'm the business owner behind At the Corner of Craft and Chromatic Yarns. They're both under the same. But yes, tiny beaded stitch marker of a little Easter chick to spur me on, mark how far I've come. The yarn I am using is this beautiful yarn by Art Equals Happy. This is Kim of Alternate Universe in Bristol. My hair gets everywhere. Alternate Universe in Bristol. Shortly after I recorded my last podcast, I talked about how I really hope that she puts stuff online soon because it's really beautiful yarn and I want everyone to be able to get it and use it. And it's very environmentally conscious because it's recycled yarn. So, as I've explained in the... I'm sorry, I just chucked a ball at you. This yarn is recycled yarn. So what Kim does is she goes to charity shops or people donate to her cones of yarn that maybe has seen better days, and she cleans it all up and sorts it all out and gets rid of the gross mingy bits and then puts together various strands in beautiful colours, and it just knits up to make such gorgeous mild yarn, and it's so nice. And she's got several weights of it. So the one that I'm using is sock weight. This is made from clay, crafted from clay, something about clay, and this is Steve Trevor. They're both Wonder Woman themed apparently. I know nothing, Jon Snow. But yes, after the last podcast where I said I really hope that she puts it online, I spoke to her and saw that she's going to be, hopefully, I don't know when, but she's hopefully going to be putting some online in the future. So that's really exciting. Because yeah, I want everyone to be able to use it. It's so pretty and it's very cost effective. Is that the word I want? I was going to say wallet conscious, but that sounds weird. It's not that expensive, I think is what I'm trying to say. It came out to, I keep catching, my needle was sticking through. It came out to I think it's £4.50 a ball, which is really cheap, and it's a 50-gram ball. So I had 2 of each to make this shawl. I'm worried I'm not going to actually use any of the second of the black, so I'm gonna have to find something I can do with 50 grams of stock weight yarn. Maybe fingerless jobbies. I realise I've said jobbies in a podcast before and someone commented, and apparently in Scotland jobby is a number 2, so that is something I learnt on that day. So thank you very much for letting me know that, because I'm never going to be able to use that word ever again. She says that she's just used the word. The tea is slightly cooler than perfect drinking temperature, so now it's just it's downhill from here. Also, my hair matches it really well. I need to book into the hairdressers and go again, because I don't know if I like the colour. I need to take the bleach a bit further up, I think, because I've not had it bleached since the wedding. That was now November. I've put purple on. I had locked off and I put purple on it since, but not for ages, and I just keep washing it out just to see how the dye washes out. Really, the hair's a fun experiment. I'm not too precious about mine. But yes, the shawl, really fun pattern, really nice, great way to try out lots of different stitch techniques, or a few different stitch techniques. This one's been in my library for quite a long time and I really wanted to knit it. There are a few different yarns that I wanted to use, and then saw these and I'm like, perfect, it will go with everything. Because I am having the dilemma of, I love seeing all these really bright, fun, coloured accessories, jumpers, whatever people are coming out with, and I just don't know if I would now wear them. So yeah, I'm torn, because I'm usually like quite a dark coloured person, as in the clothes that I wear are usually quite moody. Black features heavily in my wardrobe, and yeah, I don't know. Although maybe me knitting fun bright things. I wear my blue jumper quite a lot. Maybe I'm just talking out my ass. It's very likely. Okay, let's move on to the next whip. Next up, living in the little grey girl project bag. I love this project bag. I talked about how much I loved it last week, I believe. It's got wizards on. It's really cute. It's covered in mohair right now because I have my wedding shawl in it. Where's my little bumblebee? Oh, here it is. Oh, it's caught up in the yarn. Oh no, oh no, this is why you don't do things in a rush. I have another story about that, but we'll see if I remember sharing it, because I noticed in podcasts I'm like, oh, I'll talk about that later, and then I never remember to talk about it. So I'm really good. Yes, I got my little bumblebee by Holly Hartfelt. Yes, so story time about this whip. You may look at this and think, Hannah, you've not knit on this at all. Well, I was going to pick a random name out of a hat and just say your name and maybe freak you out, but then I thought other people might get offended if I don't say their name. But, well, you would be wrong. So this is my everyday slouchy beanie, not slouchy hat, slouchy beanie pattern by Tristan of Dragonhoard Yarn, Tristan Molina of Dragonhoard Yarn, and it's beautiful. So I'm knitting the large size. I've done my, what's it cast on? I was going to say imperial cast on. That's not what it's called. Provisional cast on. Apparently it's been a day. It's not been a day at all. I'm just having a moment. I am knitting this out of Chromatic Yarns Tweedy 4-ply in Tabaxi, and I am pairing it with, because Chromatic Yarns doesn't do fluff yarn, because 1, I don't have space to store loads of yarn, didn't put yarn bases. 2, terrified of felting this stuff. I'd rather support other businesses by buying yarn that I don't stock. Wriggle Fingers in Imp. The colour is Imp, and this is 7228 Kid Mohair and Mulberry Silk 50G, and it's super fluffy. Like a little ball of fluff. But yes. So, the other day when I was dyeing up the Knitical Roll yarn clubs, this has got tangled again. Lemon Bumblebee, I've never had this problem with it. It's just now because I'm filming, it's having a moment. Yeah, I was knitting this and I was like, yeah, this is going well, this is going well. Oh, there's a twist in my hat. I must have like twisted the needles somehow in it like this or something. I thought it would be an easy fix. So I did everything I could to try and untwist it. I couldn't work it out. So then I put 1/2 of the hat on a separate set of needles and then tried to untwist it. I was like, this is really weird. I can't seem to untwist it. How have I knit about this much of a hat and noticed there's a twist in it? So some of you will already know what I'm going to say, but I had never ever done this before, therefore I didn't understand what was happening. I had twisted in one of my first rows my stitches when joining in the round, and I hadn't noticed at all, because why would I? It's not like I had been super careful to make sure I hadn't it's not like I hadn't been super careful to make sure I hadn't twisted that first row and spent so long trying to make sure if I twisted it or not. I did. I tried really hard to make sure I hadn't twisted it because I didn't know what would happen if you do twist it. And turns out it doesn't matter, I twisted it anyway, so that was really fun discovery. So what I did is I ripped it out, which is no mean feat when you're holding sock weight and lace weight mohair, specifically double. That's no mean feat, trying to separate it and wind it up and not getting a huge tangle and not getting a huge knot. And got really annoyed at myself, and oh, someone messaged me and told me that the shape is called a Mobius, and I'm sure it would have been really pretty. It's just not a very practical hat. There's probably a pattern out there that uses it as a design feature for like a headband or something, but a good hat it does not make. And yeah, because I'd never done it before, I don't think I'd realised the severity of it, of twisting stitches. Not when I say severity, it's not like life-threatening, it's just a pain in the ass. And I got really grumpy at it, and I got really angry at it, and immediately cast it on again, which is most unlike me. I won't lie. Usually, if I have to rip something out because I get annoyed at it and grumpy at it, usually it sits unmade forever. And yeah, I just get super angry at it. But not this time. I cast it on immediately. I was like, right, I am remedying this mistake I made. I'm fixing it, I'm sorting it, I'm not going to put up with it so I didn't. And I cast it on, and I've pretty much knit back where I think I was, I'm trying to just get back to the stuff around. Because the problem came about, I think I twisted it, not on the first row, but I think maybe on the second row. Because the problem came about when, first time round obviously, because it's not twisted anymore. I don't have a 16 inch circular with small enough needles, so I'm having to do this magic loop, and trying to do magic loop on the first row was really apparently very confusing to me. And I was watching the episode of I'm going through Doctor Who at the moment. I was watching the episode of Doctor Who with David, yeah, with David Tennant, where he like creates a daughter for himself, Jenny, and so yeah, that is a vivid memory in my mind of trying to not do this, twist this. So yeah, I immediately cast it on. And yeah, I'm pretty much, I think I've overtaken now, back where I was. I really like how the mohair and the tweed are working together. Got a little owl on there to keep me company. But yeah, so I untwisted it, I started it again. This time, what I did a bit differently is, and I don't know if this will affect me when I go to join it all in the round, because it's a double brim, so you fold it up once you've knit way more than I have. You fold it up so you can't see the first couple of rows. So I knit the first two, must be 2 rows, I knit straight to make sure that it wouldn't get twisted, and then did it, and it seems to work. Seems to have worked quite well. And yeah, because you won't see it when I sort it out later. But yeah. This is the Everyday Slouchy Beanie by Tristan. She usually has loads of kits in her shop where you get the old fluffy pom-pom, you get a skein of mohair, and you get a skein of sock yarn, and they're beautiful. And I really wish I could buy more yarn from the States. I just currently financially can't justify the postage costs and then customs fees. If it was just postage, I'd probably suck it up and just deal with it, but it's the custom fees as well. Because in theory, the more you buy, the cheaper the postage gets per item. But then customs is more, so yeah, I can't. But that's okay, because like I've said in previous podcasts, I'll just support the beautiful makers in Europe and the UK. And yeah, I really love how this is knitting up. I think it's going to be worn quite a lot. Can see this needle. It's on my glasses. But yeah, that's, oh, my tweedy 4-ply base. I didn't talk about it. I mentioned last podcast I had a ton of tweedy yarn that was just sitting there having a party, not really doing anything. So I've dyed it all up and it's going in the shop this weekend. Because why not? I will be having Tabaxi in the shop on tweed 4-ply. This is BFL and Dungold tweed blend. Makes very good socks. Superwash Blueface Leicester makes for very good socks. It's got fun little flecks in it, as you saw, and I've dyed it up in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colours. One of them was an experimental one. Unsure how I feel about it, but we shall see. Tweedy 4-ply, good fun. Right, final whip. Let's get into the final whip. So the final whip is not one you've seen, but a while ago Meg messaged me of Bad Wolf Girl Sits Knits, and Bad Wolf Girl Studios is her yarn, and she has designed so many colourwork yoke jumpers now, it's incredible. But she is currently in the process now of test knitting, but she messaged me slightly before test knitting, of releasing, which will be in May and June, the Hogwarts House jumpers, which is very exciting. And she messaged me and asked me if I wanted to knit it, not in an official test knitting thing, but just in a, hey, do you want to knit this? And I was like, yes, sure. So I dyed up some yarn for it. And you know, I'm not the best at solid colours, but I tried and it's not terrible. So I am knitting the Hufflepuff, I don't know where the front is, this is the back. I'm knitting the Hufflepuff jumper because I'm Hufflepuff. And yes, I dyed up this school uniform grey and beanbag yellow yarn. Beanbag yellow referring to the school beanbags that you used to use in PE or sports. It was a term my sister coined when she graduated, and her I don't know what they're called, like the hood, is it called the hood? The one that says what, that shows what degree you're getting. Her colour, or her, yeah, her colour was beanbag orange. It was like, it wasn't a pleasant orange. In all fairness, mine was a really unpleasant green with yellow, so not much better. But yeah, hers was beanbag orange. So I went with beanbag yellow. I wanted it to be a bit more of a goldeny colour than it is, but well, you know, I'm embracing the beanbag. I opted to do short rows. The short rows were optional. I did German short rows, and it turns out I've only done these on a 4-ply jumper before, so it doesn't matter if you pull the stitch a bit tight, but I think it's going to look a bit weird. But at the same time, it's at the back of the jumper, so I don't actually care that much. Hopefully it blocks out a little bit. If not, I'm just gonna have a bit of a line before my colour work, but hopefully no one will be rude enough to say anything. So yeah, it's a really fun pattern. It's going to be in many sizes, which we love. We love designers who think of everyone. I am knitting the 40-inch bust, I think. Pretty sure that's the one I cast on. I was a bit concerned that this won't fit over my head, and I won't lie, I'm still a little concerned, but I need to put it on larger needles to see, because even these needles won't go over my head. So I cast on with larger needles because I do have a giant head, but the theory is this is superwash, so I can always block it out a bit if I need to. But the idea is it's meant to sit quite close, so that is the design. Yes, I have knit on this quite a lot, actually. When I have knit it, I've just like binge knit it, is that a thing? So yes, the first chart for this, I've got this hole, it will get sewn up. Short rows, I need more practice of short rows in double knit. This is what I've learned. So yeah, the first bit is this fun chart, and then we got the keys, and some of them are flying keys, and I just used some merino 4-ply that I had, merino sock in, technically the colourway is Zone of Truth, but it's just an undyed skein that I held double for the wing part because I didn't want to crack into another skein. And then yeah, the chart that I've just started, that you can't tell what it is, they will be paw prints. And then I think I've got one more chart, and then I split, and then I think badgers happen here, which is really exciting. Yeah, I'm really excited to knit this, and I actually want to knit this more, but work comes first sometimes. Yeah, it's a really fun pattern, it's really enjoyable. I am enjoying knitting with double knit yarn because it just knits up so much quicker than 4-ply. This is, I think, this is my first double knit jumper I've knit, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So yeah, this is on my sturdy DK base, which is 100% superwash Blueface Leicester. So it should wear really well as well, which we like. And yeah, she added me to the test knit chat, which I do appreciate, because it's just nice chatting to everyone in there and meeting new people and seeing how their jumpers turned out. And they're all way quicker at knitting than I am. No wonder people sneeze out jumpers. But yeah, someone commented on my last podcast and said, how do I have so much time to knit? Or said something like, how are you able to knit so fast or get so much done? And oh, I do apologise, I was putting my slipper back on and kicked you. I'm a bit confused by the comment because I actually get very little done from podcast to podcast, knitting wise. But, you know, sure. I just love the colour combination, and now I want to dye some of this up and knit myself a cardigan. We'll get to that in a second. But I just really love this, and I'm very excited to wear it, and I really want to knit more on it, and I love it. I love it. I did swatch, and I think I was like one stitch. I didn't block it because I'm terrible. I'm awful at swatching. I do the bare minimum, and I don't block the swatch because I can't be bothered to wait for it to dry. So I think I was like one stitch short, and so when it blocks, maybe 2 stitches. I was a couple of stitches short, I can't remember. But I figured when it blocks, then it should like block out and it will be fine. But yeah, I'm really excited. And tell you what, I'm quite impressed at my attempts of a tonal. I'm not the best at it, but not terrible efforts. I'm just showing you my balls. Oh, and this is living, oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh. This is living in my Vine sweater bag that Tristan so kindly gifted to me when we did a Christmas swap a few years ago now. Oh, I've been podcasting for ages. Oh gosh. Well, I've been back in this country for 3 years this year, so it's actually ridiculous how quickly time goes. So that's actually everything I've been knitting, everything I've been working on, and that's actually it. Tell you what, this lipstick, pretty good. So I was meant to also show you these in my last podcast, but forgot because I am human. So first of all, huge shout out to Tara of Woolberts, who came to the Wool Monty, purchased 3 skeins of yarn from me, knit herself a beautiful fade, and then it got put in the wash on the wrong setting and then got ruined. I mean, we've all been there. My problem is that I ruined my favourite jumper on the set, and that was my fault. It wasn't even the setting. I put it in the washing machine. That was a huge error. I thought it'd gone in the washing machine before. It hadn't. I'd only hand washed it. And so the colour ran in my Zweig, and I'm heartbroken. It's still sat upstairs grumpy, and I don't know what to do with it. Because I absolutely adored the cream yarn that I used for it. And maybe I will message the dyer and see, because I bought that at Aschaffenburg, Wollträume, yarn festival in Germany at some point I went. And yeah, I could message her and ask her if she's ever going to, if I can buy some more of her. Anyway, she knit her, go back to Tara, she knit her daughter a jumper to match hers in the leftovers, which is super cute. But children, as children tend to, her daughter grew out of it. So she sent it to me to use as a show sample, which is super cute. So she's knit this tiny, it's a flax light, I believe, looking at the pattern, with short sleeves. And yeah, so she used, it's on my sturdy sock base, she used unicorn, tabaxi and rock gnome at the bottom. And yeah, she sent it to me to use as a show sample. So thank you very much. It's so cute. I love it. And great use of scraps. One thing that I received it and was like, oh, this is so good, and didn't really think twice about it. Looking at it, I was like, yeah. And then I just, because this is what I do, I get things and then I put them somewhere and then I go back to it and I'm just like, oh, let me just look at this again. And I realised that she twists every single stitch she knits, and that is how she was taught to knit. She just every single, I think it's every single pearl stitch as well. I don't know. Where's a pearl? Oh, she did twisted ribs, but I think she said she twists pearls. But yeah, when her grandma taught her how to knit, she was taught to knit twisting every single stitch, which I found really interesting. But yes, super cute, tiny flax light fade. It's very sweet. Thank you so much, Tara. It was so kind of you to send it over. And yeah, if you come and see me at shows, anyone, this will probably be on display somewhere. I need to find a tiny carrot hanger for it. The other thing that I actually purchased, and received it before the last podcast, but then forgot, is the, I'm sure you've seen other people with it, Harry Potter Knitting Magic book. I was conflicted as to whether I was going to buy it or not because of all the controversy around J.K. Rowling and the questionable statements she made, but I decided to anyway because I had a look through some of the patterns that came up on Ravelry and I was like, yes, I actually want to knit some of these. So I decided to pick up the book. I really want to knit myself one of these as a Hufflepuff. I believe it's knit flat and then seamed, and it's knit out of Aran weight yarn, so maybe I won't be able to dye myself up yarn for it. And the other, there's a few I want to knit, but the other one in particular that I desperately want to knit, well, these are pretty cool, so if you're into Harry Potter and you know me, you might get Christmas presents. They say Expecto Patronum on them. This is beautiful. I love this cabley thing. I don't know, because underneath it's got a little doodaloo. Got a little secret hidden bit underneath that says owl post. And I don't know if I'll include that in mine. I'd probably just not. But the Quidditch socks are cool. These are none of the ones that I want to find. Doodaloo. The Mirror of Erised cowl's pretty sweet, but I don't know if I'd make a cowl. I don't wear cowls that often. I've made a cowl before, I just don't know if I'd wear them. Where is it? Oh, this is cool. This isn't what I was looking for, but this is really cool. Time turn at yoke. Oh, here it is. I don't know if I can pull this off, but I really like it. It's this little cape thing. I think it's really cute. And I went on Ravelry and I saw that someone's knit one out of black and grey and I was like, that's amazing, because I don't know if I'd want a blue one. But I just think it's really pretty. Maybe that's... I just don't know how functional it is and if it would go with my wardrobe. Is there another page? I don't know. I just think it's really cute and I kind of want to knit it. But yes, that is something I bought. It's got loads of really beautiful designs in it. It's a really hefty book. I didn't realise it would be as thick as it is. Nice and sturdy. It's got loads of patterns in it, from little stuffies to like scarves to more. They've got some really obvious Harry Potter things and they've got some more subtle from like lace designs and stuff. And I'm not being paid to talk about this. I bought this with my own pennies. But just if any of you were considering it and were unsure, I also really want a Mrs. Weasley jumper. I mean, I'm fortunate in that the H is in most patterns, but now now you get multiple. I'll just flash that very quickly so you don't steal them. But yes, beautiful patterns. The official Harry Potter knitting pattern book by Tanis Gray. I won't lie, I did get mine off Amazon, which I kind of am trying really hard to not buy things off Amazon so much, and try and shop more locally, but sometimes you're still supporting independent designers by buying the book, but I'd rather support an independent shop. But yes, 28 patterns, which is pretty incredible. And so yeah, that is something that I have purchased. Yes. So let's talk shop update. I'm having a shop update on Saturday at 4 PM GMT. It's a mixture of yarn and stitch markers. Like I said, I haven't managed to dye up as much as I would have liked, but I am only human and already feel like I'm running at like 95% capacity of doing, which I think is too much for my brain. I feel like 75 to 80% would be better. because then I've got the extra 25% to exceed my expectations instead of 5%. Maybe I am actually running at 100% and I just don't know what I'm doing anymore. But yes, we've got a bit of a shop update for you. Let's talk stitch markers first. If you are interested in purchasing any of these, they will be available on my website, which is thecornerofcraft.co.uk. Links, as always, can be found in the description box below, or podcast notes, they're also in the description box. I forgot to talk about them. So, speaking of Harry Potter, I should keep these in the little pot they were in. I have made some more badges. I need to make myself one, because the one that I made myself, I realise now, I've just put in the shop. So yes, they all come on findings like this, which make them perfect for end of round as well as progress keepers. I can demonstrate them being used as end of round markers, because I don't think I showed you the stitch marker I have on my Harry Potter jumper that I am currently knitting. Yeah, I've got a banana on it at the moment. But yeah, they fit over many different sizes of needle. So obviously not all sizes of needle, but many. So yeah, you can use them as progress keepers, end of round markers, blah blah blah. They're all made from tiny glass beads that I sew together one by one to make up the design. It makes them very lightweight. So if you hang them on a lace weight shawl, for example, it won't drag or pull it. And they're also very durable. Please don't do this to your stitch markers. Once is fine, but I don't want you to all break yours. But yes, they are all very durable. They bend one way but not the other, which is why I said don't. But yes, badges, they are coming to the shop. I really need to repaint my nails. They are chipping. This is not going to work. I need to have like two little pots. I need to have one where I put the ones I've shown and one where I put the ones that I'm yet to show. Yes, because I love beading them and Easter is coming relatively soon, I decided to make some tiny chicks like the one that I have on my shawl that I showed you. So he's like a matte pale pastel yellow. He's got little rosy cheeks that I don't know if you can see on the camera. Little yellow feet. And then also, because it's Easter relatively soon, cream egg stitch markers are back. Last year I did the yolk as yellow. This year I realised a cream egg yolk is actually orange, so these are more colour accurate. It's pretty cool. It's just a cream egg, Cadbury's cream egg. I now desperately want a Cadbury's cream egg. I love cream egg. Oh, so good. I've got butterflies, which I realised I've been undercharging on. Because when I set the price, my pricing strategy was different. And then I retimed how long they took, and they take way longer than I thought they did. So, apologies. But I have a few of these butterflies in a beautiful pale pink with purple, and then it's got like a metallic-y purple body. Really pretty. I don't make these often in the shop, so if you want them, be sure to snag them. I've got the popular unicorn design. You love the unicorns. This one is got a fun sort of transparent fluorescent fuchsia, not fluorescent, just bright mane and tail, and then metallic silver hooves and horn. And then this is one of my old colorways of unicorns that I used to make. I haven't made it in a really long time. And then I saw Hannah of Yarnia Designs, and I believe the Tales of Yarnia podcast, if I've remembered that right. I keep seeing pictures of the one that she bought from me crop up, and I'm like, that's actually a really nice colour combination, so I've decided to make some of that one. As you can see, super metallic mane and tail in like a greeny, tealy, iridescent colour, and then the hooves and horn are the metallic silver, and then the body is actually a pale blue, which is really pretty and quite delicate and just nice. I like it. I like it. Then we have koalas, because I know you all like the koala stitch markers. That's my attempt at an Australian accent. It goes a bit more New Zealand the more that I talk, so I should stop. I'd like to say it's a hidden talent that I have, but it's not actually a talent at all because it's a really bad accent. I'm really bad at accents. I don't understand how people can be good at them. Koalas, they're going in the shop. I got distracted by speaking in an accent other than my own. Black cats are also going in as requested. And then tiny dragons. I love these tiny dragons. I love them. So cute. This is a turquoise one with a metallic purpley blue accents. We'll go. And then this one has the same metallic purpley blue accents but is a purple colour. And then this one is green. I do actually have a pair of the turquoise ones that I have been known to wear as earrings, which is super cute. I have also now decided that I think I kind of need some cream egg earrings, because who doesn't? And then I'm just going to go grab the yarn. It's not fully dry, so it's not skeined up yet, but I will just show it not as a skein, not like twisted into a hank. So as some of you know, I paired up with Emma of the Silver Spot, who makes beautiful mugs, and they are on my to purchase list in the near future. And we have done a giveaway together. Now, I dyed up a special skein of yarn to make a yarn cozy for the giveaway, and I didn't think I could remember how I dyed it, and then I did remember how I dyed it, so you all seem to really like it. So it's still a bit damp. It's almost dry. It's pretty much there actually, which is quite impressive seeing as I only dyed them yesterday, but obviously it's been warm in this house. This is on my sturdy sock base. It's a pale turquoisey colour with sort of royal blue, black and then purple speckles on it. Really, really pretty colour. I'm really glad I remembered how to dye it, because that would have been really sad. I don't want to twist it out too much because, like I say, it is a little damp, but just so you get the general gist. Oh, so pretty. Then I have on my tweed base, because I wanted to, you know, free up a shelf basically. I dyed a load of tweed, and I've got Dancing Lights, which is a beautiful teal colour with some more purple speckles and black speckles. Dancing Lights is a spell whereby you kind of cast lights and they dance around to light up an area if your character in Dungeons and Dragons doesn't have dark vision, because like I said, everything that I dye is named after something in Dungeons and Dragons, be it spells, be it monsters, be it whatever class features. But yeah, this is Dancing Lights and it's really pretty. I think the tweed makes it really nice. So the tweedy colour is a bit grayer than the normal BFL base, sock base that I have, so it makes all the colours just that a bit richer and deeper, which is really nice. And I now kind of want to dye every skein grey before I put colours on top of it, but I won't because bright is also fun. The next colourway on tweed is Gilmore's Glorious Goods. You all seem to really enjoy this colourway when I put it in the shop last time, but that was on Merino and BFL, whereas this is on my tweedy base. So it's this gorgeous rich purple. Oh, that grey colour just makes purples look fantastic. It's gorgeous rich purple with speckles. I say speckles, they're more like chaotic splotches, but that's my aesthetic of golden yellow and navy blue. And then I think the tweed looks really good with it. Kind of want to keep all of these and knit myself a jumper out of it, but I say that about everything. Oh no, that did not go to plan. Get off. skein isn't ruined, you're fine. There we go. The next one is Storm of Vengeance. Actually, I've not dyed this in a really long time. Oh, Gilmore's Glorious Goods is from Critical Role Campaign 1. It's the shopkeeper's shop. It's the shop that they used to buy their wares from. I realise the door is slightly in frame. I hope that's not off-putting to anyone. So yeah, it's this beautiful grey, palish grey colour with chaotic splodges of purple and turquoisey colours, and I think there should be a bit of navy in there, and it's just really nice. Storm of Vengeance is a very high level spell in which you create like a really chaotic storm that causes injury to whoever you're fighting, and once again I think the flecks look really cute with it, so yep. Next we have Tabaxi, which is what I'm knitting my hat out of, and this is a golden yellow colour with browns and blacks and yellowy speckles, and a Tabaxi is like a cat person, but not like Weird Liking Cats film. But this is kind of meant to be inspired by like leopard print, so that's where I was going with that one. My battery's running out, which is why I'm now rapid fire. Now we've got Don't Be a Sad Bear, Be a Happy Bear, which is inspired. So this is inspired by, once again, Critical Role Campaign 1. And just imagine a bear who's been polymorphed, it's turned into a human, and then entered into a pie eating contest, who then bumps back from being a human into a bear and is like covered in my eyes, blueberry pie. So that was the inspiration behind this colourway. I've got some Aura of Vitality on Sturdy Sock going in. So this is a pale turquoise with neon speckles of yellows, greens, pinks, orange. Very summery and fun. That's on Sturdy Sock. And then on Merino Sock I've got Necromancy. Yes, Necromancy, which is a beautiful undyed base with the chaotic splodges of purple and like a charcoaly grey colour. And I also have that on Sturdy Sock. It is Necromancy, isn't it? Necromancy, which you all know what necromancy is, I'm guessing. Bringing people back from, it's like magic with the dead. But yeah, I got a few of them going in. So that's everything that will be going in the shop this Saturday at 4 PM GMT. Please set your alarm and be quick if you don't want to be disappointed. I physically, like, I don't know if you've noticed throughout the podcast, like my peeling hands, here is particularly so, my peeling hands from all of the bead weaving that I've been doing. I seem to have got to a point where I just don't seem like, I feel like I can't seem to make enough, but I'll keep trying, and it's a great problem to have. So thank you all so much for your support of my little business. It truly means the absolute world to me, and I don't really know what else I can say, but thank you. I'm gonna have to wrap up this podcast. Live stuff, not a whole lot's been happening. I've been working a lot. Mario went down to London, I did a live stream, I ordered pizza, it was grand. Other than that, not a whole lot has been happening. A friend coming to visit this weekend, my parents coming up soon, Mario's birthday is quite soon. I haven't cast on a pair of socks for him, I feel a bit stressed. But yes, I should probably head off before my battery dies. Thank you all so much for watching. If you'd like to follow me on social media, please feel free. Links can all be found in the description box below, along with podcast notes, links to my shop, blah 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 blah. Check out the description box. If you really enjoyed this podcast and would like to see more, please feel free to subscribe, hit the bell notification that comes up after you hit subscribe to be notified whenever I post a video or go live on YouTube. I'm looking at the screen and not at you because of the camera, because of the battery that's flashing, it's stressing me out. Also feel free to like the video. It doesn't cost you anything, but it helps to get my video out into the YouTube sphere a bit more and to have more people join the community here in the Corner of Craft. And yes, thank you all so much for watching. Sorry the end of this is so rushed. come and see me at Yorkshire Yarn Fest on March 21st at Poppleton, and I will see you all very soon. Bye.